Hey everybody, and welcome to the Quadcopter review. I'm your host Pepe Prawns, and as always, don't forget to like this video, and because this is a giveaway video, also comment one time, and one time only on this video to be entered in. You must be a subscriber to win, so don't forget to smash the subscribe button. All my normal subscribers will be entered when they make a comment. Also, like and comment the video just because that's going to help us on the YouTube search engine. Up here, you'll always see links to the giveaways going on here on the channel on any of my videos. So, I've been trying to get people into FPV. That's part of this channel's goal. Recently, we did a brushless model. This time, we're going to do a ready-to-fly kit that is a brushed model, and it's going to be the E013 Plus, and this is a full ready-to-fly kit. It's going to come with everything you need. Let's see what we get in the box. First thing we're going to get is the manual for the quadcopter itself. Next thing is a manual for the goggles you're going to get with this. The next thing we're going to get is a controller, and this is a regular controller. You're going to get a mount so you can use an app on your phone if you like. You're going to get a set of 06 E013 goggles, a 3-point strap, some antenna and charging system for the goggles, the quadcopter itself. You're going to get a charger for the batteries for the quadcopter. You're also going to get extra set of props and a screwdriver to work on the quad if need be, plus 2 more batteries, including a 3rd one inside the quadcopter itself. So let's look at the parts. As you can see, we've got a little extendable mount here. It snaps into the controller itself, where you can use an app for your FPV if you didn't have, let's say, the goggles, or you want to fly it with an app. So let's take a look at the radio itself. This is a battery operated radio. It will come with the batteries that are in it that I've put in it. They're AAAs, and it is a regular, as you can see, not a steady flight radio. It is one that is like other radios that you would purchase down the line when you get further into FPV. Next, we have the extra props and batteries. We have the quadcopter itself. Now, this is a brushed quadcopter with a fixed camera. You can see at the front, no angles to be put there. Little antenna here at the front. And again, those brush motors there, I believe, are 15s by 6. We have a battery that came with it, and as you can see here, this is not a JST2 like you'd buy other batteries, so you're going to want the 3 batteries that come with it. If you buy one separately, then this giveaway. You also have our little screwdriver here. We have this charger, which works with those batteries, so you definitely need that. It's not going to work on a standard charger. You have your 3-point strap for your goggles there, and your little kit here, and inside this kit you're going to get your dipole antenna, and that's going to screw on to your goggles itself. Chargers, because the battery for those goggles is inside, a couple wipes, and there's a little 3M fuzzy for that. Now let's take a little bit closer look at these E013 VR06s. So you have a menu, plus, minus, and a scan button on the side. You have a plug for your charger right here that will charge the internal battery. You have your mount there for your strap, and that place in the front for your antenna, and there's your top mount for your 3rd of your strap. So taking a look inside, this is the quality of the goggles themselves. As you can see, it's pretty nice. It's actually not as sharp as this right now. I am adding some filter on this video for my desktop, so it makes things a little bit whiter, but it's actually even nicer than this particular view here. So really nice goggles. If you press the menu button, you're going to get in where you can adjust your brightness and contrast if you don't like the way it is out of the box. To turn it on, you do hold that power button for 5 seconds to turn it on. So let's plug in the little quad here, and then we're going to press the scan button. So it's going to go ahead and scan all the channels that it has available to it until it finds the frequency that the quad is on. And you can change the frequency of the quad and the band, and we will, not the frequency, I'm sorry, you can change the band and channel of the quad when you get inside of there. So there we go. It has found the right channel and band, and there we go. As you can see, really nice. I was actually really surprised. I can't wear box goggles because I have glasses, and they don't work really well with it without my glasses on. So 5 more seconds to shut it off, and there are the VR06s. If you want to know more about it that I haven't mentioned, the manual here inside will tell you everything about it. Links to this will be below. You can also go to those links and read further on the site about this particular product. Now we also have a manual for the little quad itself, and it's going to tell you your bands and frequencies there, as you can see. I'm sorry, your channels and bands there. I keep saying frequencies, sorry guys. And that will help you decide maybe what you have to work with. Now, if we look at the little quad itself and pull out our third battery here, I believe those motors, like I said, are 15x6s, but nonetheless, they are brushed motors. And again, brushed is nice when you're learning because those motors are pretty cheap to replace. The props come with it, and we get an extra 4 props, and I'm going to throw in some extra props for you there. If you watch till the end of the video, you'll find out why I'm going to do that. Camera is fixed, you can't move it. If you were crafty, you could unscrew this maybe and figure out a way to adjust that view of that camera, but I'm imagining you're going to see the bar in the front if you tried to do that. Now let's take a closer look at our radio here we're going to be using. So we'll talk about the radio itself, the buttons, and then binding it. So let's take a look at the radio, and what we have here at the top obviously is our power on and off. We have our throttle and yaw. We have our pitch and roll on the right. So we have our trim buttons here that trim each side if you're going to trim it out, and the button in the middle has no purpose that I can find. Now if we flip it over, you have your modes button here on your left, and that's going to change which mode you are in the quad. We have a level flight, we have a little bit faster level flight, and we have air mode. So you can do flips and tricks with this in your air mode. We have our channel and band buttons. You can change the channel, you can change the bands of your VTX to whatever you like. And this little R button here is to arm, disarm, and believe it or not, this guy has turtle mode on a brushed quad, and it does work. So you hold that button, I think, for 3 seconds to have it flip. You just click it for arm and disarm. So that is pretty neat, and I'll show you in the flight footage about that. So pretty cool little radio, I think. And if you hold the button just for a second and turn it on, you'll see it is flashing. Now to bind this up, you want to face the quad forward and plug in your battery here. Make sure you plug it in the right way and you don't short it out. So put that down, and we take our throttle stick and we move it up and down, and you will see that light stop blinking, and we are bound. So that easy to bind this little quad, not a problem in the world with that. So that is also very helpful for your new person. So it says in order to calibrate the FC, you pull the sticks down and right. No alarm, no beeps, no nothing to tell me if it actually did it. So I'm not sure if it is actually, you know, calibrating the FC on that. But once again, in the manual, you can read more about what you can do here. Quick push to shut off the radio, and we are all set and ready to fly. So let's put it up in the air and see what we get. Now I'm going to start off in the first mode, which should be level mode, and if you press that modes button, you hear 1 beep for the first mode, level mode, and we'll just go ahead and take it out. Now this is the more slower, more stable level mode of it. The second mode I thought was going to be like Horizon, but it seems to just be a little bit more powerful of a setup for it. So in level mode, it's working pretty well. You'll see the craptastic moss there blowing. So we did have some wind. I was giving it a check, you know, as far as outside goes. It's going to be perfectly fine inside, but as you can see right there, the wind's blowing enough to push me pretty hard to the right, and this time of year in Florida, it's just blowing like that. There's really no way for me to show you guys things outside without expecting some sort of wind going right now, being that I live by the coast, so we're always getting some sea breeze out here. So cruising around, as you can see, it does a pretty decent job in level mode. Give it a pretty hard kick here, and you can see it's not the quickest, which is great for what this is about. What I'm showing you is for a beginner. This is like, you know, imagine if they're flying this for the first time. It's gonna kind of be just like I'm trying to fly it for the first time, because I'm used to a more expensive radio, and it is a less expensive plastic radio, so the gimbals are a little, you know, a little weird. So off we go here in the second mode, which you can see is a little bit more zippy, and a great second step for those. Now you can see right here, I tried to see if it was horizon, and it is not. It is a level mode, so it was not going to flip or do anything. So, but once we get going here, we can get a little bit more ripping on it, and you'll see it has a little bit more power, a little bit more speed about it. And I'm just landing here to check something right quick, and we'll take off again here and see. And there we go, a little crash. I had flipped into air mode to see what was going to happen. So here's the cool part, turtle mode on a brushed little quad. So I think that turtle mode is going to be great for anybody that you might win and you haven't flown FPV. That is something very special and doesn't usually come on a brushed quad. So to have it on brushed is really cool, because that will be when you get into brushless. And I also think that's good for anybody you're going to give it to, maybe a friend, child. You know, you can enter to give it to a friend. We just want to get somebody into this. As you can see, even in the grass at turtle mode, which I totally expect it to do. So pretty cool. I think that's going to be great for a beginner. So ripping around here in air mode, you can see we're definitely, our speeds are working much better. Fight the wind a little bit, and definitely better. And, you know, fighting the radio, learning how to do it. If you bought this kit, you know, this is the crack. This is to get you in it. You're going to end up wanting to buy a new radio and new goggles and a whole new quad anyways, but this is a great place to start, to see with $100 if you're interested in it, because a lot of people start and find it's just not for them. They don't have the time. You know, things like the wind factors, rain, things like that you can't do this hobby in. Some people can't take that. So, but as you can see, it's a pretty good little ripper once you get to the stage, you know, maybe a week, 2 weeks down the road when you're ready to start ripping air mode. It's going to have plenty of gas for you, and it's definitely pretty cool. Yashin makes pretty good stuff. I mean, I know everybody's China junk. Well, guys, 90-95% of everything in this hobby comes out of China. You can stick a US price tag, or I'm sorry, you can stick a US label on the front of it, but guess what? It was made in China. That's where these electronics are made. We just don't make stuff like that here. So there are some manufacturers that do make in the States these kinds of things, and you can get them there, but everything comes from China. So the one problem, only problem that came with this is not a problem that is unique to this quad. It's happens to brush motors and these pop-on little props, and that is, it has a little pop-on, but every time if I landed hard, and it won't do it for me, just showing you here, the props would pop off. So this is something I've seen in even the best, you know, quote unquote best quads out here. They pop off. It happens. It's power the motors and so on. So basically there's a solution to this, and you might know it already. If you don't know it and you're new, it's a pretty easy solution that helps solve a bit of this. You're still going to probably have some of these problems, but what it is you're going to get your hands on some of that regular old dental floss. I don't seem to have any, so I'm going to show you just here with some string. But what you do is you take some dental floss, you take some kind of pokey object, snip on yourself off a small piece, enough that it will tuck in, and be prepared to snip off any extra. You can even take those new flossing deals that are on a stick and cut it out of there. But you take that, take some sharp object, you push it down in the hole, and then push it onto the motors. And what that's going to do is it's going to take out, you know, a slight bit of the gap out of the motors, and it's going to give you a tighter fit for your prop on those motors, and that's going to help you a little bit from popping these guys off. I've had this problem on some of the best. Sometimes it has to do with speed, sometimes it just has to do with their snap-on props. Don't expect the world out of a prop you're not screwing on. So that's a solution if you haven't heard of. Give it a try and see if that helps you out. Now, knowing that this is going to happen, and I popped these things off probably 3-4 times crashing, I'm going to throw in some props that are just extras I have. I'm going to throw you in 2 extra full sets, so you're going to end up with 3 extra full sets of props 4-blade props. They're not those same props. These are beta FPV props, but they are the right size and they're going to fit just fine. And that way we'll buy you some time until you need to buy your own props. And you can pick those up at Amazon. You're just looking for, I believe it's a 1.0 shaft. So just make sure you look at your manual. It'll tell you what size you need for extra parts. So that's the quad. That's the only problem to me, besides the radio being a little bit cheap. So for me, going from, you know, a Tyrannus to it where I put Hall gimbals on, plastic gimbals are, you know, kind of a little bit difficult to get used to. So blame the sketchiness on that and on me not being able to adjust to a little bit cheaper of a set. So yep, so that's the deal, gang. So giving this guy away, give it to your friends, your child that you want to get into the hobby. If you're brand new to the hobby, tell us you're brand new and we want to get you into this hobby. So as always, guys, like I said, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Help me out by posting it on any of your other social networks. Put it on your Instagrams, your Facebooks, things like that. Remember, one time only on the comment to enter and be a subscriber. And as always, happy flying. Hey guys, thanks for stopping by and checking out the Quadcopter review. If you want to see more interesting reviews on FPV related stuff, take a look up here in the old right corner right there. You'll find links to all the rest of my reviews. If you want to get in on some of the best giveaways on YouTube, look over here. Don't forget to subscribe right here on my chin. And if you want to check out my flying only videos separated from the review channel, check that out right here. Thanks for coming. Don't forget to subscribe and happy flying.